Welcome to section point 6, common logarithms. Now in here we're going to focus on how to solve when our variable is our exponent. So let's take a look at our first example. 3 to the x power equals 14. Now as we review on the previous where base 3 with exponent, so for example in the previous part we know that 3 to the 1 power is 3. 3 to the second power is 9. And then 3 to the third power is 27. Now, right here in our example, 3 to the x equals 14. None of them is equal to 14, meaning that it's going to be between 9 and 27. That means that our exponent is going to be between 2 and 3. So what it means for our exponent is it's going to be a decimal. So this part will involve the use of a calculator if you're asked to evaluate and write the numerical answer in decimal form. So if it asks you to solve and evaluate and write it in decimal, or like round to the third decimal place or the second decimal place, then you are required to use a calculator. But before we can use a calculator, the main focus, the main gist of the work is the setup, because you cannot type in 3 to the x power set it equals to 14. So here I have a TI-84, a graphic calculator, and so it's on. So I can still say x, or 3 to the x power. So let me use the x right there. But if you look closely, I have no option to put in an equal sign. And even if I do have an equal sign, so if I had this as an equal sign, I type it in and type in 14, if I hit enter, there is no function for me to solve for it because the calculator is not programmed. So just because if you have the option to use a calculator, the issue is to set up the work. So even if I put in 3 to the x power equals to 14, me hitting enter will do nothing because there is no program on the calculator on automatically solving for x. So if you type this in, nothing's going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on how to set up our work, so that way what work you have, it will be simply just typing in. It only takes 3 to 4 seconds, maybe 5, and then hit enter. Then you'll get your answer. But your answer is correct if you set up your work correctly, and very importantly, if you type in the calculator very correctly. So here I mentioned about parentheses in our work, so parentheses will play a big part. So first we're going to focus on how to get x by itself, set up our work, and then once you have your work, just type in exactly what you see. If you type in exactly what you see, you should get the correct answer. If one small misstep, you're missing something, then the calculator will say error, or it will give you the wrong answer. And you don't want that just because you make one small mistake. So we're going to focus on doing the setup on the board here in order to type it in correctly.